Hi, my name is Mark Stallard and welcome back to Little Green Man. This is part 2 of our 4-part series on KPMG, the company that many conservative neoliberal governments bring in to justify privatising public services. KPMG was brought in by the Progressive Conservatives of Manitoba to conduct an audit of the province's healthcare system and other public services. This audit was supposed to produce a report that would be revealed to the public, and the results would be used to guide some changes. Changes in the guise of service cuts, which would be a massive boon to the province. I think everyone is in favour of running an efficient system, so knowing where the problems lie is the first step towards reaching a solution. But if the report that comes back from the audit is fair and balanced, then surely we should embrace it and work towards that solution. But can we trust KPMG to be fair and balanced? Well, let's see. So who is this company that the Progressive Conservatives have entrusted with the future of our healthcare? We discovered in January of this year, 2018, that a KPMG audit gave Carillion a clean bill of health. This was a big, massive public services company in the UK, billions of dollars, worth billions of dollars, and it crashed and collapsed. But yet KPMG gave it a clean bill of health anyway. And so at first glance, one might be tempted to give KPMG a pass. Everyone's allowed one mistake. But wait, it wasn't one mistake. There have been many, many, many more. Now, between 1997 and 2000, KPMG regularly audited a company called Independent Insurance. Of course, it reported that the company was running flawlessly and gave it a clean bill of health. Then suddenly, in 2001, it collapsed. PricewaterhouseCoopers was handling the liquidation of the Independent Insurance. They discovered something odd. There was a giant hole in Independent's accounts that KPMG should have spotted. PricewaterhouseCoopers sued KPMG for £300 million sterling. The Telegraph reported. Does it sound familiar? Carillion much? But wait, I've barely gotten started. The dodgy audits aren't limited to the UK. KPMG Botswana was accused of signing off on the financial statements of the Kingdom Bank of Africa Limited as a going concern. It was proven that the lender's liabilities exceeded its assets as far back as 2011. KPMG was sued for $18.2 million. In Australia, in 2015, KPMG overstated the assets of Discovery Metals, which led to the rejection of potential takeover, leaving shareholders with nothing. This led to the shareholders to take out a class action lawsuit against KPMG for $830 million Australian. KPMG has paid millions to settle dozens of lawsuits. Now hold on to your seats. I'm going to list some of them off as quickly as I can. So deep breath. 2003, KPMG paid $125 million to Rite Aid and $75 million to Oxford Health Plans Incorporated because of dodgy audits. 2004, KPMG paid $115 million due to the collapse of software company Learnout and Horse Speech Products. 2006, Fannie Mae sued KPMG for malpractice for years of erroneous financial statements. 2007, KPMG Germany was invested for ignoring questionable payments in the Siemens bribery case. In 2008, KPMG was accused of enabling improper and imprudent practices at New Century Financial, a failed mortgage company. KPMG agreed to pay $80 million to settle suits from Xerox shareholders over manipulated earnings reports. 2008, KPMG failed to reveal two of Tremont Group's Rise Select funds had $2.37 billion invested within the Madoff Ponzi scheme. 2011, KPMG failed to identify fraud in Japanese company Olympus. 2013, a former KPMG LLP partner admitted passing on stock tips about clients. This scandal led KPMG to resign as auditor for two companies. 2017, KPMG failed to uncover illegal sales practices at Wells Fargo for potential corruption at FIFA. 2017, KPMG paid $6.2 million fine to US Securities and Exchange Commission for inadequacies in its audits of the financial statements of oil and gas company Miller Energy Resources. And that's just the highlights. So the KPMG Wikipedia page has a healthy list of these negligent audits under the heading Controversies. Many of the ones I listed are included. and several more besides. I challenge you to do a quick Google search. I bet you can find a few more that I missed. Think about it. These are the ones where they were caught. How many more have there been where they got away with it? Well, I guess we'll never really know. KPMG's questionable dealings aren't just limited to dodgy audits. They've been recently caught peddling a serious, almost treasonous tax evasion scheme in both the US and Canada between 1996 and 2002. KPMG tricked greedy clients into illegal tax shelters. Billions of dollars of taxes hidden away to help greedy, wealthy clients not pay their fair share of taxes. The CBC series, The Fifth Estate, has done a really good in-depth report on this. It's well worth watching. Link is in the description. So who with a sense of decency, with a hint of self-respect, with a reputation worth protecting, could even consider working with such a shady and clearly corrupting company? And how could anyone even consider them to work with a government after their criminal tax evasion scam? And I haven't even gone into the details of their misdealings with the government of South Africa and the scandal involving the Gupta family. That's a big one. I just didn't have the time or energy to break it all down for you in this video. I think the examples I've proved that are enough, don't you? But I think in all this, Jim Silver says it best. Jim Silver is a professor at the University of Winnipeg's Department of Urban and Inner City Studies. In an article he penned for the Winnipeg Free Press, which was also reprinted in the Brandon Sun, he says, "It is a splendid irony that even while helping wealthy people and corporations to avoid paying their fair share of taxes, and taking a cut of 15% of the taxes that are avoided, KPMG is busy now advising governments, such as the government of Manitoba, to cut spending on public services that are important to all of us, and especially those of us who are not wealthy enough to use offshore tax avoidance schemes." So let me ask you a couple of questions. Before he engaged KPMG, do you think Brian Pallister and his ill-named Progressive Conservatives didn't know about KPMG's negligent audits, tax avoidance scams and other shadowy deals? You think he didn't? Doesn't it make you sick to your stomach? And of you, I ask, knowing what you know now, do you want KPMG anywhere near your healthcare or other public services? Of course you don't. It beggars logic. Now in part 3, I'll outline some of the changes that the Progressive Conservatives have already thrust upon us here in Manitoba since hiring KPMG, and as they attempt to cripple Manitoba Health. And in part 4, I'll discuss what we can do to prevent KPMG's audit and report from slashing our healthcare, and even oust them from their position of influence of the services that keep Manitobans healthy and alive. Little green man. This is the back door to the Manitoba legislature. Now, if you hit the subscribe button now, hit the notification bell, then you won't be surprised when they try to stick something up your back door.